Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, this is Teno's the Human, and welcome back to our King Arthur campaign. And you join me outside of the Eternal City of Arthur, of course, because last time this chariot army went and smashed it up, and we took it for ourselves. In fact, we never actually went into the city per se, we just killed all of their armies out on the field in one glorious blood-filled rage. It was absolutely magnificent stuff. And yes, we obviously need to move further south into Capua and down towards Tarentum and Croton. They have themselves a couple half stacks here, or a little bit more than that actually, so need to be a tiny bit careful. You will notice though, there are more and more forces down here by Messana, and as we move along the coast, yeah, it doesn't get much better for us. It would be awfully nice for Etna to erupt right now, but I don't think it's due to erupt for quite a long while yet. So, we are of course going to have to deal with these guys in time. What might be easier though is to just make sure we can take out Italy and block them from ever getting back. So to do that, we obviously need to go and take out the boats. Now we have ourselves a few over here, so best to get rid of these guys. Lovely stuff. And yes, you'll notice there's an army that's already landed here. We very much need to get rid of these guys because they are just a force of Praetorian cohorts. Or not quite, but there are certainly quite a lot of them there. So we're going to need to deal with them. Now luckily, Arthur is not the one actually putting the town under siege. He's just there to kind of help. We're going to get on the boat and we are going to head around this bay here. Now, I must say, there isn't actually the embark thing here. So it looks like we might be a tiny bit short. Ooh, some of them can make it. Okay, some of them can make it. That's grand. I'm not sure what's happened to the generals. Arthur's fine. Arthur can make it off the boat. These two are apparently a little bit afraid of all those Praetorians. That's fine. Ascalabur would never be afraid. That is an utter lie. I don't know what's happened there. But anyway, we've got most of the army over here. They can obviously head in good time. That'll be lovely, lovely stuff. I suspect they'll give us a poke. They can't really get anywhere otherwise anyway. So we'll go and poke those guys when we come to it. A few other things going on. Oh yes, and a spy over that is Anthony Manfio, the last of the Gallic cities. Obviously Spain are doing pretty well. They are my allies, of course, and they seem to be hanging on as allies. They got themselves Parma, and yeah, oh, there's still Carthaginian, but yeah, there is some marks over there which suggests that the Spanish are attacking them. They're of course at war with Carthage, so the longer they are distracted by each other, the more that they won't attack me. So that works in my favour. Yeah, I sent a spy over here, but it turns out it was plagued. Now the plague has stopped, but of course I have myself a spy with the plague, which is grand. I can spread it to these two guys. That should be good fun. So I'm just going to walk out of the city, back into the city. Oh no, he was killed. Oh, damn and blast the good old plague war. Maybe considering the current circumstances in the world, perhaps we can say that's probably a good thing. Fine, they get away with it. That could have been a lot of fun. Oh yes, in between episodes, not a lot has happened, but I have just walked to Divicus, Mark and Manny here. Of course, I've been besieging that for quite a long time, and I've sent out a force here to go and build the odd watchtower. So that's what Urien will go and do. I'm quite happy to have this the border for the time being, although I will go make Home Sweet Home the border, give ourselves the river and forests over here to block them further. Ooh, the Greeks. Now the Greeks decide to attack us. I'm just going to try and snipe off this guy while we're around. Why not? They did the classic kind of poke with a ship, and we've dealt with those guys. But oh well. We're back at war with Greece for no particular reason. They obviously decided we're the only ones that they want to attack. That's just the way the game works. Oh yes, we of course have all the Switch women over here. We'll probably move over there in time, if only because we do actually have an army. So why not? So we'll go and grab ourselves a load of chariots. I picked one too many there. So I tell you what, we'll move those guys over and across. I don't know why these buttons are being awkward for me right now. The two experience. Perfect stuff. Good news. You sir, head back to town. You'll be fine. Over to Home Sweet Home then. We'll make that ours. We'll head up to Hyperborea. We'll try and take on all of the Amazon archer chariots with our own. We'll pit them against each other. That'd be magnificent stuff. We must be getting near the end of the Germans because there's no one in that town, and yeah, there's a few people here. No one at the moment, but we might just not be able to be have them in vision right now, so we'll just walk over there, see if we can snipe off their family. I'd rather take on some rebels. I say that, I'd rather actually keep Germany alive over here and use them as a buffer state between Dacia. I don't really want any extra borders with Dacia if I don't need it. So there we go. Oh yes, there were more assassins, weren't there? Of course, yes, Salona. We've seen many pitched battles along the coast here, and we've at last moved on. But you can see the force is pretty small. We've taken on a lot, and we're tired. They are also tired. I sent my assassin along to see what else was coming to reinforce. Not a lot. There is this guy over here to go and kill, so lop off his head. Marvellous stuff. That's one more. Quintus Ostorius has gone as well. I don't know how many more leaders they have, but we've lopped off a lot of heads and killed a lot of them in battle with chariots. So I don't know how much they've got, but it can't be huge. Bear in mind, the Britons have all of this. They have all of this part of Greece, apart from Peloponnese and Attica, which of course is Scipione. So we've got to be a tiny bit careful. No peace with the Greeks, despite my little chats. It was a strangely eventful couple turns in between these two episodes, just in terms of setting up where we are. But of course, Mordred actually could head in. I don't want him to. If they want to sally forth, they are welcome, but I don't think that's going to go too well. What I'm going to do is just get Kai moving in this direction. Just hiding around. I don't really think it's apt for him to just properly head into these guys. Just have the heavy chariot support to help him out. So we'll have him hang around, hiding in those forests, ready to pounce when the time comes. But of course, the main thing is down here in Egypt. We had a great time last episode with taking Rome, but we've been having problems around this part of the world. We've got ourselves Gwain City over here, which I can see an army finally turned up to. Luckily, the boat from Elwood over there has finally turned up, and we are on our way to drop men off at the city. So we will indeed do that. We'll head inside the city. Now we've got a good force. I actually decided not to send the leader in the end because he was pretty old, and I thought he might as well stick around where he was. But we do have a few men to go and take on these forces over here at this point. If they want to come in and attack, I'd prefer that, but I would be very careful with regards to, regards to any reinforcements coming in. So we'll be fine, I think, with that in time. We'll leave Gwain City for the moment, but keep a close eye on what's going on in Egypt. So yeah, it's been an interesting few turns. Of course, it was great victory with Rome last time, but the battle isn't quite done yet. Where do we go from here, you ask? Because obviously Rome, to some extent, is the main victory condition. We have 18 more regions to collect, and I think we'll probably go for something like that. By the time we've captured Sicily, southern Italy, that's 6 more. By the time we've captured all of Greece, that's another 10 or so. And by that point, it's probably just a couple of these Egyptian settlements will have us at victory. So I don't think we'll complete like a full-on whole map campaign here, but I think in the next 5 or 6 episodes, we're going to continue to see if we can plough through the Romans. It might not be as easy as you might think, though. Depends on how much the Brutites have left. I feel like they've thrown a lot at Salona. I do have a chariot army that turned up to help. They're a little bit battered at this point. A couple battles here as we just smashed our way into Salona. But I think we've got them on the ropes at this point. And of course, with assassins hovering, we are training up new spies and assassins in Italy, ready to go. So I think it's pretty much time to end our turn, to be honest. There's not a lot more to do this turn. It's very much a case of, seeing what's going to happen. I suspect the chariot army is going to come under attack. They'll almost certainly fancy their chances. I don't, though. I very much fancy my chances. So let's end our turn. Let's find out what they're going to do. Yes, as you might expect, we are straight in with Captain Caius of the Praetorian cohort, who just all of them have fled the palace seemingly last time and have come over here. Of course, there's no emperor to protect them, so I don't know why they exist, but we're going to chop them down. Arthur the Cunning, his great new epithet, Eagle Taker. Now with Eagle Taker. I don't know. I can't remember how you get the eagles on this, because there aren't the first cohorts like on what do you call it? Barbarian Invasion. That's the game. But I suspect with this many Praetorians, we have a chance. I can't actually remember what the triggers are. Remind me in the comments below if you remember. Is it an urban cohort you have to kill? I don't quite recall. Anyway, my mind's got blurred between Barbarian Invasion and the main game. 2-to-3 ratio, 601 men of Arthur. They're cunning. Honestly, just the final one, Arthur, is probably enough to do the job, probably, maybe. But we'll send him into battle. And he, of course, hasn't picked up the sword bearer just yet. So maybe we need to fight beyond, just on the hills of Vesuvius here in the Bay of Naples, and this will be glorious. This is probably just about where Naples is anyway, so the Battle of Naples, let's head in. Here we are then on the foothills of Vesuvius, and I think very much that this is going to be one of those hilarious charges from the heavy chariots. Now, of course, they are some elite units here, so it might be a little bit harder than you might normally expect, but we're still going to go for a full-on charge, mainly at one particular flank, of course. Then we can just wrap them up from there. I do have some more chariots, of course, hiding in that forest. That will help us out. Just in terms of, yeah, getting a few light units and just separate a few. But to be honest, I reckon we are going to plough them straight to the, well, straight to the grave, I guess, because that's where you go. If they're lucky and we actually put them in there. So these chariots are going to leap into action. And out of the trees, they thought they were distracted by these guys charging at them, but no. No. You have the light chariots over on this flank, lads. Don't you worry about that. You're all going to be shot away. So we've got legionaries, Praetorian. Yeah, we're actually taking out some of their better units here, so we can get the rout on these. Look at that, Praetorians instantly routing. And honestly, that is pretty much the whole line going to be wrapped up immediately, because if we are all over the Praetorians, then there's not a lot more that's going to happen. You guys all get yourself over here. You guys get yourself over here. And I'm pretty certain that, yeah, let's just swing ourselves in. This is going to be a quick affair as ever it was. As for the light chariots, they're going to do their skirmishing. Principes are thrown in some javelins. That's not going to work all that well. Go for those auxilia, clear those guys out. What have we got left? Legionaries throwing in some javelins. Get rid of those before they get too much of a problem. And Arthur, come and help out your light chariots over here. Take on those Principes. That'll be magnificent. As for the rest of you, go and take on those auxilia, please. We'll just get a few of you to start mopping up. So let's get these four on mop duty. Marvellous stuff. We do need a good cleaner over here in Italy. Set you up to get rid and mop up all of those pesky Romans. Lovely stuff. Yeah, as ever, this army is pretty much unbeatable. It's really what you expect to happen every time we do this. And yeah, that is exactly what we've got. So, last few units, a couple of auxilia floating around here or there. Just make sure that they go down. But on the whole, it's another death charge for everyone involved, really, isn't it? So, Arthur, can you just try and chase down those guys? They're actually the only ones not running away, I think. There we go, they're all gone. They are all gone. It is a proper hunt, a proper coward chase at this point. And I think, honestly, we should really do a better job of trying to chase these guys down. So get on top of them, lads. Get on top of them. The archer lads have done plenty of good work there. You can see they've done a nice bit of, yeah, just general skirmishing. I think they're a lot more effective when you've got the heavy chariots to do, you know, the heavy work, which is kind of the point of having both of them, isn't it? So, another great victory for us. We've cleared them out. 3% loss. It's absolutely ludicrous. Bananas on toast is what these guys are. Obviously, we saw with Egypt how easy it is for them just to run in straight into a phalanx and get themselves all murdered. In fact, we've definitely lost a few generals to some stupidity along those lines. But yeah, their supreme effectiveness has been on full display here once again. So as we clear these last couple of lads here, we'll be able to see the full-on ridiculousness of the stats for this battle. And with that, yeah, 1409 to 16 kills. 16, ladies and gentlemen. This was an army full of Praetorian cohorts. There we go. 96 kills for Arthur in this men. He's not going to get Excalibur for that. But that was a grand old victory for us. Ah, they're going to come in at last. What has he got? He didn't finish the sat point. 1 siege tower and 1 ram. Honestly, sir, I don't think that's going to be enough of you. It's really not, but we do have reinforcements, and I've just enough units to be able to control them as well. So, Ptolemy Adadeus, we are going to have control of you. 9 to 10. Honestly, though, with the defences, I think we'll be alright. Obviously, we are virtually... well, obviously, this army barely lived from last time. Briton's managed to recall his own units, though. So he, at least, if nothing else, in spite of losing some experience that I think he had before, he has got some men back in the unit, which is... yeah, refreshing if nothing else. The reinforcements has 2 units of full strength. Chosen swordsman. That's what we're going to need to win this. Let's head in against Ptolemy Adheados and we'll take out the Egyptian foe. So the siege tower is coming up towards our wall, and of course we've kept our men away from the wall because the ballista shots coming out of them would be absolutely catastrophic. If this ram makes it here with epic stone walls, I'm going to be pretty darn unhappy. I say epic. It's actually large. I think they're large. Even so, I really don't think they should get there. Oh look, they're actually still getting ballista shots away, even at these guys over here, although we seem to be just about getting away with it for the time being. So if we go and get ourselves lots and lots of reinforcements, be grand, we'll bring themselves in this direction. Over at the gate, the Nubians are getting themselves burnt to death by the boiling oil. That's very much good for us. Works in my favour. Now what I really want to do is get everyone rushing over here, particularly these chariots. Do some very good work of trying to clear out the bowmen over here. So we're going to do, we're going to get our peasants over here. We are going to get our few chosen swordsmen over there. And what I want to do is get these guys in behind to try and throw in a few javelins and a few heads. Fortunately, they've already kind of wasted most of their missiles. I say wasted, I think they haven't completely wasted. There's a few hits and a bit of damage being done. Not a huge amount though, quite frankly, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. Yeah, Nubians are having a pretty problem at the gate, which is quite fun. I do though I have Steve and Alan at the gate ready to go and guard it. I think we'll be absolutely fine with these 2 chaps. We've also got like 200 peasants. I'm sure they'll be fine. And the other side of the wall, they're just keeping getting burnt by the oil, which is quite hilarious fun. They're down to 13 of them at this point. So in come our lovely, lovely chariots. Everyone else is very much making their way in slowly. But we'll see if we can do some good damage here. Be very nice indeed. So these guys are reloading. They're frightened by chariots. They're going to charge in from behind. And juicy, juicy damage done by them. No! Don't get... oh, whatever. So we've got ourselves 2 units of chariots pulling into those guys. That should be good damage indeed. They've Why have you got yourselves it? Okay, their positioning was terrible. So they've instantly broken, which is just what we wanted. Thank you, game. Thank you very, very much. So, yeah, that doesn't really help our cause, does it? But 17 Libyans are not doing too well. Various guards, 65 of them. Perfect. The head hurlers are up there as well. We're going to have to send these peasants up as well to hold position. It's a bit of a shame. I'd rather they stay at the gate, but to be honest, I think the gate might well be okay. Over here, we have got ourselves all sorts of nonsense happening, and I completely forgot to go and control this situation. No! Okay, don't worry, all of this has gone wrong, but if it pulls them into tower range, actually in many ways it does some good work. So, Bedouins, you charge them at right now. And that means we'll have a chance to get the rest of these guys into a position. Something like over here. That would be marvellous, marvellous stuff. They're now pouring into the gate, which isn't kind of ideal. We've... wait, that's our guys pouring back in, so we've actually opened it for them. Well done, well done, chaps. We'll go and get Alan to do a bit of chanting. Wah! But the other side, I'm not really sure what's happening. There's just a few chaps over there. To be honest, the camels did surprisingly well. They've got chopped them down to about 9 at this stage. Got these guys running. See what they can do. You guys head in there. Libyans, throw some javelins while they're in position. They've been shot by the towers. They're also going to be killed by our lovely camels. And we might actually just about be able to break them at this point, because in comes the reinforcements. Yes. Right, these Libyans don't need to worry about throwing their javelins. Their general is fleeing. Fleeing. Good news indeed. There we go. I think... hopefully our camels can shoot him down, but I'm not sure they're actually shooting, because they have this awkward thing where they don't bother shooting. Go and kill him. Chase him down. Get rid of him. Right. As for the rest of you guys, all just head into him. Throw your javelins. Do whatever it is that you do. Now, up on the wall here, I don't really know what's happened. Have we... We lost the wall. Okay. Ferris Guard are currently not in phalanx. So, General, get yourself into them. Do your best work to kind of scythe them up as they are. But yeah, they could pull out their phalanxes at any moment, which would be very, very catastrophic for us. They're broken. We've broken the guard. Yes, Ferris Bowman at the gate. Get them as well. General causing utter chaos. And that's really what we wanted to see. Those bowmen are gone as well. Libyans are doing something. Not brilliant, but something. General has fled. He's not actually coming back. So it looks like our reinforcements are going to be able to do the job. Get those two infantry into the back of those Ferris Guard. Those Ferris Guard. General over here now. Do not get yourself killed. There's fresh Ferris Guard coming in. We don't need you to kill yourself. It is not necessary on this day. Okay. Pull yourself over here. Just there'll be fine. Something like that where you can help your friends. Just stop where you are. Lovely stuff. Right, under the gates we have Ferris Bowmen, 60 of them. We're about to pin them in with our infantry. So, I say about to, but we eventually will. Eventually we're going to pin them in with our guys. Get those chaps to run in. Some of you can actually charge them. The other half can do something else. They had elephants. Of course they had elephants. That was probably what was happening when all our chariots routed, wasn't it? I suspect that was what was happening when the chariots routed. Well, at least we're not having to worry about that anymore. That's good. Sub point isn't complete, even though it is actually showing it, which is odd. But there we go. Ferris Guard are at the gate. They, of course, cleared out all of our infantry at this point, which is a bit of a shame. Chariots are coming in, though. Charging the chariots of fire. And, of course, they kind of did something, but not a huge amount. So that's the Ferris Bowmen. The Ferris Guard are there, which makes me a bit concerned for my general. So I'm not actually going to send a general in until those Ferris Guard are pinned or cleared out. Just want to make sure I don't do anything stupid with that. Does look like we've won it, though. It's been a really awkward affair trying to take Memphis and hold on to it. Egyptian armies are really, really awkward for my men to take on. So Ferris Guard. We need to hit them at some sort of an angle. There we go, they've broken. That is all we need to see. General, now you get into those bowmen. We've got rid of the main guard. Phalanxes have been destroyed. And, yeah, well done, Libyans. You failed to take out the bowmen. I'm not really surprised. We'll just get whatever we've got left in terms of cavalry to go and clear off these guys, which, to be honest, is pretty much nothing. Anyway, it's all absolutely fine. There are, at the gate, if the game will allow me to go and see them, some Nile spearmen. So get one unit out. One unit out to the flank. We've just oiled our own men, I think, unless we're actually immune to our own oil. I don't know. We might be. I've never really looked to figure that out. It looks like we actually are immune to our own oil. Well done, sirs. These camels are trying to flee. Honestly, lads, you're being held back by your own general. Maybe get the idea that you're not supposed to flee. Is that my... Turns out your generals can be killed by... We'd already won, sir. Why did you do it, Brian? Why? Okay, Memphis we've renamed the town of Brian in honour of... actually, let's be fair, we'll make Jerusalem the town of Brian. But anyway, let's go... Let's just use his friend's corpses to go and finish off these last few bowmen. There we go. There is victory and a completely unnecessary death for our general right at the end, which is absolutely going to cost us because he was actually quite good. This is a disaster, the Egyptian campaign. He would have fought it. He would have thought that attacking Egypt could go so wrong. I mean, in some cases it's worked, but it's not been brilliant. Sorry, did they actually get to use that sat point? I think they actually did. Ridiculous. Can't believe we just oiled our own general to death. That is a new one for me in Rome Total War. I mean, I've certainly seen the enemy general killed by oil. But the fact that there was like one Nubian somewhere around, so we decided to drop oil on our own head. Maybe that was a spy on their part. Did I just tell them to go kill the elephants? I think I did, you know. Anyway, let's not worry about that. After this, I don't know. It's only really going to go up from this point in the episode, I think. So I think I'm just gonna end it. Actually, let's just quit. Clear victory. Well, this family tree has very much died, hasn't it? Dulce et decorum indeed, sir. Dulce et decorum is pro patria mori. 'Tis sweet and seemly to die for one's country. That's what we've got to tell them, because honestly, there's nothing else we can try and tell them at this point that's going to work. Right. We have, yeah, it was epic stone walls, but the camera is actually happier than normal. Interesting. Odin the Cantiaci. I think because of your awkward name that I've struggled to actually pronounce, I think that's why you had to go, to be honest, sir. Now, we do have some more men outside of the Egyptian capital. Or the Egyptian capital, sorry. Our capital of Egypt, which is Gwaine City at the moment. Briton, I'm not even sure. Well, we'll leave it in your name to remember your deeds, but honestly, I'm pretty disappointed, all things considered. Right, Dacia and Thrace have a ceasefire, probably because Dacia have once again failed to take the last Thracian territory. Having done so well all game, they can't even finish them off because they're ridiculous. As for everything else, Gwaine City, of course, does have itself the spire sent over. So, what do we want to do with you? Honestly, I'm going to send you around here. I'm just going to send this guy a little bit deeper towards Bostra and then Petra. Nothing doing right now. They really don't have a lot. I don't know if they've got a lot in their war with Pontus or what, but normally when you face Egypt, they are just buckets of armies everywhere. I suppose that's later in the game when we turn up as the Romans. Right, heavy chariots are coming in. We lost the generals, but we do have ourselves a very strong army here, so we'll go and take them out in a moment or two. I say take them out. We'll try. My Libyans wandering around having a scout. Nothing really going on around that part of the world. It's all pretty darn solid. And as for the rest of things, oh yes, I was going to try and get an alliance with Pontus. Those are some Greeks. They don't like us. We can't. Don't quite know what the deal is there, actually. Why can't we get an alliance with Pontus? I don't know what it is. So they're allies with the Brutii. Interesting. Against the Greeks, I guess. That makes some sense, but it's a bit annoying for me. A bit tied up with all of that nonsense. Fine. So, what do I need to do from here? I'll tell you what. We will get onto the boats. Send them down south. Lovely, sir. Have a little tour of the heel of Italy. We'll have some lovely time. Now, we're going to get Kai right next to him. In fact, actually, should we? No. Let's leave Kai in that forest. We're going to see if they want to take the bait and come for a chariot charge. I might not even show it this time, but yes. Oh, yes, even more chariots. Good news. We'll deal with them in good time. And otherwise, Leonardus of Sparta has turned up. Interesting chap there. We have lots of boats scattered around the seas then, and we are finally looking under control, at least the Western Mediterranean anyway. Our ships have a pretty good bit of vision all around the different corners here, and we seem to have cleared out all of the Romans as far as I can see. Obviously plenty of armies here, but if they don't have the boats, they can't get them to come and help the mainland, and that, of course, is the main thing. Yes, over here in Conan, we are just going to get a few more boats. We cleared out a few of them, to be fair, but again, we've obviously taken losses once more, and I can't really do too much more merging. I can merge that, but taking damage. So we're going to continue to build a few more ships, see what we can do. Obviously, we need a garrison in Elwood to get itself rebuilt, so that's a bit of a problem. Over here in Salona, though, we are just going to stroll in. The gates are open. It'll be a simple enough auto-resolve. A few losses there, 142. Not the best attempt of the town on the town there, but it's fine. It's not the end of the world. We'll probably get some decent retraining. Yeah, lovely. We are actually apparently lacking in the barracks. We're nowhere near 6,000 at this point, so we'll probably get ourselves, you know what, we'll get rid of that. We need to see what we can do here. Tradable goods. It's a pretty good town, actually, so I wouldn't mind some extra tradable goods just to make it all the better. Marvellous stuff. We'll get that all rebuilt. We've got militia barracks. We can get swordsmen once we have retrained it. That's fine by me. Okay, not looking too bad there. Of course, we do have the chariot army ready to move on when the moment comes. But yeah, otherwise things are pretty good. Oh yes, of course, we do have the assassin here. 90%. Go for that one and miss the target. 90%. That is a little bit harsh and disappointing for us, but oh well. Can't be helped, I suppose. Can't be helped. End our turn. See if much else is happening. Okay, more bait being taken. We'll clear these guys out. I probably won't bother showing this because I've had a few of these chariot battles recently. We'll clear them out. We'll see what else is going to come up. Ah, sadly the spy Nabatea over by Petra has died. That is very sad indeed. It'd be nice to see the Nabateans as a faction at some point, actually. Yeah, but we should definitely have more like a Bronze Age Total War. I know obviously Troy is coming out very, very soon. I do think you could do something when it comes to several of the peoples of more of that era. It could be very interesting, but I suppose we just got ourselves a little saga series for now. Pretty excited for that one. And actually, I will be doing some Troy on the channel, unless I completely hate it. But I quite liked Three Kingdoms, so I don't see why I wouldn't. And obviously, I very much like my ancient history, as you've probably seen from some of my videos and commentaries on here. So it'd be very nice indeed to do some Troy. We'll see how that goes. I don't really share the general despondency for it before it's even come out, which I think is frankly ridiculous. But maybe we'll get into that in another video because, yeah, some interesting things are being said about Total War and Troy. Particularly as we don't really know an awful lot. There's been obviously a tiny bit of gameplay released, but not very much at all. But anyway, the Nabateans, it'd be nice to have those, but of course it would be nice more than anything else to actually have some spies around. But we actually do have at least have a couple others floating around at this point, so that's nice to have. A few guys, I did some auto resolve actually with a couple of the forces. I think I took on one of the main ones up here last time. Don't think I showed that to you, but yeah, the auto resolve just sent some of them packing into this direction here. Probably should have mocked them all up, but they weren't a bridge, so the auto resolve I just felt like would be the simpler solution for now. I'm kind of a bit drained on sort of taking on all of these guys over here. They're kind of doing my nutting, and of course, yes, we'll send in some peasants out to scout, and then I realise I actually have a spy here, so that's a much better scout, all things considered. Of course, we have no general at all. This part of the world now. We've lost them all. One of them was just terrible. Oh, I got my merging wrong there. That was foolish of me. Yeah, one of them was just terrible, but otherwise the last guy was just burnt to death. Crazy way to go. Good old Orion, but there we are. You will be remembered. You have your city named after you, and your father, of course. Your brother, less so, to be honest with you. Now, we obviously do have domination of the seas in the west, but on the east here, we do need a little bit more. If the motorbike would love to just drive on past, that'd be grand. Thank you, motorbike! But we do have ourselves plenty of ships coming in from Alexandria. We might be able to use those to our advantage as long as we don't get stuck in a naval war with Greece as well as Egypt. Adding that onto the Roman escapade would be quite annoying. So, check out the odd boat over here as we figure out what we're doing. Now, I obviously have spoken a few times about going to attack Sparta and Corinth. I reckon next turn actually will probably be a good chance to have a little poke at that plan as we just sink the remnants of these fleets over here. Marvellous stuff. A little bit more, but you're the injured ship. Magnificent stuff. So, yes, I think we've got a good chance of pouncing over there next time. We might actually have ourselves some fresh Cretians ready as well. So we'll see about that when the moment comes. What do we want in that case? We'll get ourselves one more unit of infantry just to hold where they are. Now, I have started packing out some ships from Cyrene as well. The economy is much stronger than it has been. So we're very much looking to make that work for us. I'm not worried about most of the military infrastructure, but I will go and get myself the baths for now. A couple ships and one more there. Honestly, we've got a chance. Clear victory. That was probably a bit risky. We'll head back to Cyrene for the moment with a little victory under our belts. That's fine. We've now picked up an admiral, which is good. We can move forward from that particular position. So, with these guys obviously having completely slaughtered the forces of Croton, we can, I think, pull our army into here. Now, they'll put it under siege. I think in time they might want to come out at us. But if I'm honest, I'm just going to head on to Croton with this force as well. Obviously, we can't technically crack it in right now, but I'm happy to leave that going, ticking along through time. I don't think the Scipione is going to get anyone over here at this point. So, oh, I forgot to retrain those. That's a bit foolish. It's fine though, we'll just make sure we've got a big pile of boats for next time. And Hull over here is, yeah, getting itself lots of troops. We need to get ourselves some men ready for invasion of Sicily, which might need to be chariot heavy actually. It definitely seems like the way we're going to be able to win. So we'll potentially go for that. We'll go put Lillabellium under blockade, or at least give us eyes on that port. And we might do the same with you. It's only 10 men on that boat. It's potentially a bit, well, a bit foolish and risky, but can't really complain too much. I'm sure we'll be absolutely fine. So these boats over here have good scouting. I don't know if any of them are actually a 2 at all. No. Maybe we'll just make sure we get a few more boats trained up here in Pelias for the moment. And St. Albans as well. A couple more. They are costing us a lot of money, but I think they are worth it just to control the seas. I always think on this game, I don't really bother with the boat at all really until I know I can train enough to win on the seas. Then I properly bother. So that's all and good. Escobar over here. I think tavern or academy. To be honest, it's really going to be a tavern. Whilst it's a border town, I don't think I'm going to be having a big garrison there most of the time, or at least not in general. We'll leave them in Italy, I imagine. Potam's going to need it more. But good old Conan the Spy, he can head in this direction, see what there is. You, sir, can head over here. We obviously failed to kill this guy last time. Faction leader, might actually be there last. Can't see any other guys around. There's no one in this town apart from a bunch of screaming women. In fact, we might head into there actually because we have ourselves plenty of rams. So I reckon, yeah, we'll be able to finish with that one here today because we're pretty near the end with that. Another family member, 36, and we missed that time. A little bit more of a standard battle there, but can't really, yeah, can't say I'm too surprised about that one. A bit more low on the chances. Right, well, we'll send what other chariots we have just to join you for a minute, sir. We'll get our retraining done where we can and get some more chariots. That's pretty much our money spent, but I'm quite happy with how we've spent it. So yes, otherwise things are looking good. There are just some scrappy forces coming. I reckon we've got a good chance to pull together a force between these two, particularly with the force from Gawain City, and send it down south. Which we don't have a general, but if I can get a heroic victory or something, I could well get myself set up actually. I could get myself a nice new man of the hour, so hopefully we'll manage that. So to do that, we're going to need lots of chariots to be able to outdo their chariots, and that force I think will have to be enough to go and do the job. Get some swordsmen just for some men in the city, and at this point you are out of money as well, but we're almost done building some extra chariots, so that's fine. We'll leave those guys to finish up. Can I retrain with the money? No, I can't. That is absolutely fine. But we'll end our turn again. We'll see what happens. I reckon we've got one more little bit of fun before we end the episode for today. Tragic times once again. Not the family tragedy of Morgal, so I'm not interested in her, but Eliwood has died. A great conqueror. He well, it was him and Conan, of course, but yes, he went over and took Conan, and then he went and took Eliwood for himself. It's been a tough life. He was on a long adventure as a young man all the way around here. His son succeeds him, and he's got his experience these days. He's fought so many times against a bunch of Scipiones on this island here. He's a magnificent man, Conan. He can be proud of his son, unlike the failed expeditions down here. I mean, I specifically sent, 3 generals who were young and were having sons coming through so that we'd have plenty of people over here. But it hasn't worked out that way, has it? No, it hasn't. So I think we lost one of the sons on the island here with Conan. But in general, yeah, it's not been the best expedition overall, has it? No. Well, large boat. You get over there and make sure we do it scattered. The rest of you need to stick together. There is a boat right there. Take on Admiral Shabaka. It's a nice name, very satisfying, if nothing else. Now, I am excited to finally be able to take Conan's army over the seas. So, on with Admiral Sinric, not Admiral Cynic. No, not going to go for that. That would not be an ideal name choice. We'll go and select these guys. We'll go and pick the ones with good experience, of course. Now that leaves us with lots and lots of infantry, do I want to take some of these guys? Yes, I'm probably going to have to battle in the field, so I imagine they'll be very much what I want. Let's get some Cretians and some javelin men just to help me out. And after that, a bunch of chariots will do very nicely. You get in the town. Conan is not happy about it. If I just get myself a... No, clicking on the wrong things here. If I just get myself a bunch of warband, it will chill out eventually. Okay, we'll do that for now. Now you, sir, head over here. There is an army about there. Okay, nothing too much around. Is it better to go for Sparta first? Possibly is, you know. We can possibly just defend ourselves on that mountain top. So, over there. Right, onto the tower. We are standing in the field on the tower. Hopefully not in a bad position, but it might be downhill here. He, of course, does some magnificent traits. I mean, he is just a shield bearer, not a sword bearer, so he's managed to avoid that as well. I should have bought the mercenaries before I left, shouldn't I? I forgot about that entirely. We'll get ourselves one more hoplite. I do love those juicy, delicious hoplites. Right, you can see around there, we're very much ready in terms of that part of the world. Down in Egypt, I don't see anything else coming. Are we going to have gates open? We are not. That's a shame, but not the end of the world. It might well open up in time. Have they retrained those units? No, but they've trained some Camel archers. Interesting, not particularly good, if I'm honest. So I shan't be too worried about them. And yeah, everything else is completely battered from those earlier auto results, apart from the null cav. So 2 units of cavalry, a unit of archers, and the rest is just dead trash. Marvellous stuff. And yeah, over here in Urian, we can actually make sure we are rebuilding our army properly. The tax rate was on stupid high. Anyway, all is good. They'll chill out in good time. So we'll get ourselves, to be honest, just a couple actual infantry for the time being. Just to bolster the sheer numbers. But we do need to then get moving back to the chariots. Yeah, well, you know what? Just one in each town will be absolutely fine. That's good by me. Now this boat over here, Admiral Luca, I reckon you need to go down to our boats over here. Lovely stuff. Admiral Hengist, good old Hengist, he's everyone's favourite. And over here, yeah, these boats can finally swing around here and we'll be able to take out these boats because they're really driving me to madness. So, sink a couple more. We didn't lose the boats. I was a little bit afraid there we'd lose them. So, we'll get into there. We'll get ourselves more and more boats. Lovely stuff. And other than that, nothing too much of interest. These guys are under siege. They didn't bite us over here. They're not going to bite. We might go and poke them ourselves. That seems like a sensible plan to me. Alright, let's finish it off up here in Home Sweet Home, where I think it's probably a good time to go and finish off the Screeching Women. We're going to go and do it ourselves because that seems like a fun plan. Let's go. Yeah, naturally, we're just going to shoot them with a load of missiles as soon as possible. So, essentially what's going on at the moment. The walls are down, and we'll give them as much of a good poke as we need to. Obviously, just a huge pile of Screaming Women. This is as near to Amazonian women as we're going to get for the moment, although we will head off to Themyscira in good time. So, if we go grab ourselves our infantry, then they're actually coming over to us, which is amusing. We'll get them killed. I think the slingers are all going to go crazy, actually. So, grab up all of our lovely chariots, keep them out of the range of that tower there, and we'll get them heading in. We do, of course, have dogs as well, so if these dogs want to go and chase after them, it'll be perfect. I don't imagine they have an awful lot of defence when it comes to facing dogs, so we'll see what they want to get on with. Yeah, they don't like their heads into them at all, do they? They don't. Dogs are coming in then, that'll be lovely good fun, and in general, to be honest, I think it's just a case of sending in all of the chariots, and we'll get all of our head holders in as well. That'll be lovely. And to be honest, all the infantry can just charge the plaza as well, because why not, eh? Why not turn up that speed? I'm sure the dogs can do a ridiculous damage to these chaps on this occasion. Because, yeah, they're not taking an awful lot of damage from the women. They are holding Big Butcher's knives, but they're not being able to defeat the dogs. She's down on the floor, but no, they're taking her on. She doesn't know what to do. She's just giving up. That might be the chariot's fault, to be honest. So the chariots are heading in at this point. The dogs are obviously on routing mode, but that's pretty much what just happens automatically, of course. We get all units, to be honest, all units just head into here. Apart from the chariots, all of you just kind of plough forward, and I'm sure through the madness we'll make all of this work for us. This is a bit of a roundabout, isn't it? There's just nonsense happening. Dogs attacking the... yeah. This is all a bit sad for the Germans, really. They put up a good fight against us at the start, but I think we figured out how to scythe them all to high hell. Okay, we probably don't actually want to face them on the plaza, so let's just get all the infantry over here. That'll be lovely. Get all our missile troops somewhere up at the front here. And then we'll be able to go and take them all down. Lovely. Full cav then can just stay back here somewhere. That'd be magnificent. Well, there is technically a victory because they decided just to charge us anyway. Oh, God knows what they're doing. You know what? We're just going to chop them down. It's all absolutely fine. Here they go. Whee! So the Germans are gone. They're down to one, maybe two. Maybe they have Hamascara. 1 or 2 cities. We never did get map information off them. The dog has finished off the general. That's the way it's supposed to go. So, only a few losses there. Most sustained injuries. Actually, to the general and 1 unit of chosen swordsman. A few chariots, of course, always happens. That is just the way they go. War is the only proper school. The surgeon says Hippocrates. Indeed. Indeed, sir. How else can you manage to learn how to deal with, you know, when there's a skull impregnated in your own skull after the head hurlers have a bit of a fun day? God knows. God only knows. That is a question for the comments, I think. Whatever the question was, it sounded completely mad as far as I'm concerned. Right, Home Sweet Home is under our control. And with that, we will, of course, lay down a watchtower over here. I know it's on the board that we just took, but whatever. I will have it. You, sir, run around with your chariots. One day I'll let you go home and you can build yourself a lovely, lovely new life. But for now, we'll leave you where you are. And yes, this is their faction leader. So chances are that's all they've got left. But... yeah, you never know. The Germans do sometimes go up there, so Lucas Gepard. Yeah, I haven't actually got eyes on it, so we'll send someone up there. We'll go see if the lovely, lovely Amazons are over there for us to go and take on. I would like to send my chariots over against them. Fine, so we have ourselves pretty much at the end of the episode for today, ladies and gentlemen. That is their chap down. There's actually another one right there, which is a little bit ridiculous, but I don't actually have any generals in that position, so not too worried. We'll get him trained up against terrible assassins, then we can send him off to go and take out more of their men. So today, we've got Capua, Tarentum, Croton under siege. We've taken Salona, and of course, just about cleared up whatever's happening in Egypt. It's been an incredibly tight affair. Now, if those forces had got there, 1 turn later from Elwood, then we would have been in big trouble, but just about managed to do it, just about managed to hold off that siege, and all is looking good. The seas are increasingly becoming under our control, and of course, we do have ourselves an expedition force with Conan over here, who's got himself to Sparta and the Peloponnese. But all of that will come next time as we look upon the statue of Zeus at Olympia. I will leave you. I'm Thomas. This is Tenacious Human, and this has been our King Arthur campaign. Thank you, and goodbye. Let us have a moment for Domino then, a giant of a commander who, frankly, I completely let down. Here! Yes! That was so good! We'll shoot them as they land. Ow! No, we're fine! Everything is fine! Panic over! It's only a horde of Vikings, it's not actually a problem.